have my snow right here, the snow glitter, or the glitter snow from the kit, the Advent calendar kit. I added it along the tops and the bottoms right there. I have my knobs on, the ones that I have knobs for, and I did spray some of that matte sealer on here. And I'm going to start talking about my topper. If you remember, as soon as there it is, I'm going to use this paper for it. Now, if you look closely at this paper, you can see this tree is the same as this tree. This is where the pattern starts to repeat. So, theoretically, I'm going to cut that and make that my lineup to make just a continuation, and hopefully I can do it and that seam will be relatively invisible. So, I forgot, this is what I brought this over for, because this is why how I'm gonna choose, because I kind of want this centered, so I'm gonna come this way, make this tall one in the center, and do my split there along that center line. That's what I'm thinking right now, and I'm really hoping that I can get that taken care of. Alright, there you have my center line. I cut off a piece so there's no overlap, so that it is just right up against each other. So that there's no bulge. And then I'll come in and I'll just fill in these corners with, I don't know, maybe part of this. I don't really have much tree left. I'll see what I have, just to kind of fill those in there in the smaller areas. So it should be kind of easier to blend in, just for the color part of it, and because there will be these pieces in front of all of that. Okay. Anyhow, so I had cut off a pretty good sized piece, and then I just went in and shaved off a little bit 2 more times, just until I was happy with how it lined up. So now I'm going to get these glued on. I'm going to trim this one down so that it's not hanging over now that everything's lined up, and set that off to dry. And then I think I'll come back and start talking about what I had planned in my head, for those tree inserts and those deer inserts. Alright, I have this little tray here, and I'm going to do the same basic technique for my 2 little deer that I did on these trees, except I'm going to use some of that walnut stain. I have some white acrylic, liquid acrylic ink, my sidewalk chalk Lindy's spray, and that silver paint. And that's what I'm going to do until I get the shade of brown that I have pictured in my head. And I'm going to mix it up in this tray, and then put my deer in to soak in that mixture. And my water, since I do kind of like it to soak in a bit. Alright, I'm getting ready to work on my trees here, and I'm going to kind of, hopefully this works out because I'm kind of experimenting. I have some distress crayons. These are two from the holiday set, the ones that are mica, the frosted juniper and tree lot. And then I have speckled egg, weathered wood, and iced spruce. And I'm going to try to not necessarily recreate, but get things matching with the color and get some, I don't know, texture, just some different shading on there. Hopefully this will all work out. I'm just going to kind of go in and start adding the color, blending it with my finger, and just hope, really a lot of hope that this works out the way I'm thinking it should. I ended up going and grabbing my Snow Flurries. This is also one of the ones from the holiday set, just to give it a little bit more blue tones on here. And I'm gonna stop now. Let this set up, I guess that's what we'll say it is, for a little bit, and then I will be sealing it since these crayons are water soluble, so that after the sealer is on, I will be coming in and adding some snow down on these mounds, maybe some on the branches, but there will be snow getting added in. Okay, I let these sit a little bit, came back to them, and I decided I kind of want to add a little bit more of the snow flurries and the tree lot in there. But I didn't want it to keep blending and blending and blending all of the colors. So I put a layer of workable fixative down. That way I can kind of build up now. Maybe add in a little bit more weathered wood. I just want to add a little bit more definition than what is showing right here. Not a lot, and it'll probably just be this one, I think. We'll see how I like it after I get this little bit on. Alright, first thing, I'm going to just show my drawer fronts. I have added my numbers, at least to the ones that I have the little pulls for. I just used some jump rings, and I'm just gonna, even though you won't be able to see, even though that jump ring looks like it could slip over, it's actually just small enough that it, just small enough that it won't. But I like the look it gives. So I'll use one of the ones I don't have the pull for yet. I have 4mm jump rings that I used on the little number tokens. And then I used 8mm jump rings to go around the hitch fasteners. And then just hooked them up. Now, my trees have been completed. They have a coating on them to seal in those distress crayons that I used. And you can see, I'll just grab one real quick. That water, it beads up and it's not going to reactivate the crayons. At least that's what I'm hoping, because I am going to be adding some of that glitter snow from the kit onto my trees. But now that my dyed deer have dried, I'm going to be adding some distress crayons to them as well. These are my little cards that I just made up of all my distress crayons. This side, the new colors that have come out recently, and then I have my holiday colors. So I've been looking, and interestingly enough, I actually kind of like the crooked broomstick. So I'm just going to pick them out. I have there's a crooked broomstick there, and I think I'm going to grab that frosted juniper up again. And then from my regular ones, I'm going to use old paper on my antlers. Let's see, should be on this one. Some old paper and some tea dye and wild honey. I actually think that that's what I'm going to do. Nope, scattered straw. I'm going to get the tea dye, some scattered straw, and some wild honey out. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of start on here. I want my old paper on my antlers. And then I'm just going to probably mostly layer and blend with what there is. Working from the lighter colors to the darker colors. And just mostly see what I can come up with. Okay, I have my deer the way I want them. Let me put them, I'm going to put them on a white background so that they stand out a little bit more. I did come in on the hooves and I added some black soot and there it is, empty tome from the Halloween set this year. So I'm going to take these out now and spray them with a sealer and let those dry. And then I'm going to come back and kind of work on adding the snow idea that I have going on these. Actually, you know what? I should just do this now too since I'm here. That snow will take just as long to dry as the sealer. Ooh, I'm going to get a piece of parchment paper here to work on. So that snow won't stick or pick up any other colors that might be on that mat there. There you go. And I'm just going to actually brush this snow on. And I'll probably build it up on the branches. Build it up for these snowy mounds. And actually, yeah, no, I'm just going to brush it on and see how that goes. See, just until I like it, until I think it's done, which is basically what I've been doing with all my coloring and layering, is I just keep going until I think it's done. My matte finish on my little deer has dried. I'm kind of setting things up. None of this is attached, that's why I have it balanced on bottles, except this long one. It actually stands up on its own. Anyhow, as you might have caught at the end there yesterday, after I had spread on that glitter snow from the container, I grabbed up that bag of glitter that is also in the Advent kit and sprinkled it all on. Right now, I am just kind of trying to place where I want things to go. Apparently that decided to quit standing up. Okay. Make sure that everything's going to be how I want it. This bottom, I want the inside to be nice and bright. So I took some white gesso and went over that surface. I will be adding more to it, but I wanted to really make sure that everything was just going to be as bright as possible in here. Because if you live in a snowy area or have been around snow, then you know snow is very reflective. I've seen it basically just from moonlight light up an entire yard because of all the reflection. So I really wanted that to be nice and reflective. There we go. Everything's kind of back. This deer, the one that's looking back over its shoulder, this is the tallest piece in here. So he's really going to have to be a lot more to the center so that roof does not hit his antlers. And I am kind of using this, and I hold it down in front so that I can kind of view things. See where all of my pieces are going to be lining up, how it's going to look on here. But he is going to be my starting point when I start attaching. And I've been thinking of different ideas. I can't just leave this plain. I'm going to kind of have to build up. And I haven't totally decided. Let's see if I can get this back out of here. I kind of need that. Or how exactly I want to do it. I think I'm going to kind of mix up my own stuff to lay down on the bottom, and then use this to kind of coat it. I'm thinking that's kind of the direction I'll be going. So I'm going to go work that out real quick, and then come back and just start adding my pieces in. Now, I don't know if I will use them or not. I dug through my Christmas supplies. I have bottle brush trees in white. I have some of the Tim Holtz ones, which I don't really know if I'll use or not. I have a pack of small green ones. After I get these pieces in, then it will be easier for me to sort of play around with those bottle brush trees and see if I like how they look in there with everything else. I think I'm kind of got everything together that I want to use. I have just some regular modeling paste. That's for my stash. I have this. It's a crackle paste from Cosmic Shimmer. It was I got it during the 3-year anniversary sale from one of the limited edition kits. By the time I'm done with it, it's not going to crackle. I'm going to add a little bit because I like this blue tone in it. This is some tray crackle paste. It was in the September mixed media kit. Once again, it's probably not going to crackle. I just have it out because it has a different texture to it, and it could prove useful for maybe thickening or something like that. And then I have my sidewalk chalk flat Fabio spray again, from the August mixed media kit. I have a couple of the palette knives that were in the September mixed media kit, and I'm kind of just gonna go see what I can make up. I don't need a lot. I don't want like mounds of it. I just want a snowy ground. Oh, I almost forgot the important part. This is kind of how I'm going to add the bulk to it. I probably got this like at a 99-cent store, Dollar Tree. It is just foam balls, but I think it's going to work really good for bulking out my mix. That's my thought. That's what I'm hoping. Get my container out and just kind of start mixing things up. Alright, I was sitting here and I realized instead of using this for my stash, the mixed media kit has this nice good sized jar of diamond dust. So I think I'm going to put a little bit of this in to my snowballs. Mix that up, and as I was straightening, this is really lightweight because I have so much styrofoam in there to spread it out and bulk it out. There, that's it. Bulk out that watered down texture paste I have. So I'm going to mix in a little bit of that glitter, and I'm going to set this off to the side. I don't think this has the bulk necessary to hold these in place. And I'm trying to decide if I want to mix in some, this is a super heavy gloss. Maybe, yeah. I'm pretty sure this is going to need some extra adhesion power. I'm going to mix some of this in. Just to make it stickier. That is what this is for, is to make it stickier. Now, if you wanted, you could probably just use a clear drying glue to add some stick to this. I would use, if you use the sidewalk chalk, use less of that. If you're using more liquidy glue, I'm going to want to make sure it is all the way dry before I add my, before I add my glitter snow. But I do want to get this put together, to get my wooden pieces on here, and then once this is dry I can put the front and the back and the roof on. I want to put it together and try to work inside. Topper has dried for about 24 hours or so, and it's actually not even all the way dry yet. It's in my room. It's very cool in here, so it does take a bit longer to dry, but at least now I can move it and things are not tipping over anymore. Alright, so I left off with this, and I'm going to be making up another coating to go on here and filling in some of those gaps, building it up just a little bit, and I'm going to do this one a little bit differently. I'm not going to put as many pastes in it. I have my gloss super heavy gel for my binder, and then I have my light and fluffy modeling paste and just that white there, and then to kind of thin this out, I'm kind of going to make like a, I don't know, kind of a thick paint, but obviously not really just a paint. I have those pastes in there and that gel in there for adhesion, and I have some regular, not super heavy, this is just gesso as opposed to super heavy, which is a lot thicker. This one is a lot there, and not necessarily thin, but thinner than heavy gesso. And then I have some clear gesso that I'm just going to use to kind of thin it out until I get the consistency I want. I have a pretty good amount made up, sorta. You can see that consistency there. I'm not mixing anything into this one. I'm going to kind of use this to smooth things out. Make sure everything's coated. Add a little bit more. Just play around with it really until I like my snow piles, and you know, make it a little bit smoother. And then once this is set up and dry, I think then I'll be able to go in and add some of this glitter snow. But after I get this on, I am going to use that diamond dust from the mixed media kit and sprinkle that on. That way there will be glitter everywhere, even if I don't get this on everything. But yeah, I'm gonna use this mixture now and top it with some diamond dust just to kind of keep my layers going up, and also make sure that there's going to be a lot of reflective surfaces in here to make it nice and bright. I am finally to the final stages of assembly. I have my topper glued and snow covered, mostly snow covered. I am going to go back in with just some of this glitter snow that came in the kit. Add some touch-up places. I have my back panel ready to go, and my front panel. Now, the front side of this has the same Krylon matte finish spray on it, and then I went back and added some workable fixative on this part. Made sure to hit the bottom edge, this inside edge, and this back of these snow mounds. And I have some hand-drawn lines in here where I just kind of finished bringing out those snow mounds how I thought they would go. But I'm not going to add that snow yet. I want to get my thing, or the topper, put together. And because this is so long, I am going to be using... I just happened to have gotten a new table for my craft room that had these little bits of scrap in them as protectors on the ends of it in the shipping box, and they will be getting used. That's why I have my glass board back out. I know it's a nice flat surface because I will be using it to hold everything and clamp it into place. And I will be using these to protect the surface. Okay, so there's kind of where everything's at right now. I'm getting ready to put the front and the back on. I'm not going to do the roof yet because I do have things I want to do, but I'm kind of to the point where I need this on and I need the back on so that I can see what I'm doing better. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm trying to think exactly how I want this done, which order. Yeah, I'm gonna put this together, and then while it's sitting there I will come back in and touch it up with this in some of these areas after I kind of see how it's looking. I guess looking is what we're just gonna say, just to make sure I have it exactly what I've been picturing, or at least as close as possible to what I've been picturing. Alright, I am continuing along on my putting everything together. Along my snow, let me try to move this very carefully, my snow at that front there. I have brushed on some heavy gesso to lighten it up, just because I will be building up the same way I did in here, except without this little foam balls. I have some of that second coating, the one without the foam balls that I made up, and I'm going to be adding it on here. Actually trying to decide if I want to add it on now or after I have the roof on. Part of me says after the roof is on, just to make sure that I don't accidentally block any of these front tabs with medium. And because then if I have the roof on and then I put this on, then I can just set it off to dry and be done. And the other part of me says that would be hard. Oh no, it wouldn't be harder. You know what? I will do it after the roof is on. I will just tape off the roof on these sections, and then I can just peel the tape off with some artist tape. I actually think that will be better. Okay, so I'm actually going to move this sort of out of the way real quick, because I do have plans for my roof that, after careful consideration, I did decide would work the best. I have a small string of lights, and they actually have little red bells on them, which I thought about taking off, but I don't think that it's really going to matter. I don't know where I got them. It's just a real, it has 10 lights on it. I mean, there. Just a real short string of lights. I have no idea where they came from. I don't even remember buying them, but they were in my Christmas box and they're getting used now. So I'm not going to be able to stick my hand in the front opening to put these lights in after everything's together. And I do want them on the roof. So I am going to very carefully put them on my roof panel so that they are in place, and then I will very carefully put both panels on together with the lights attached. So to kind of give me an idea so that when it goes on there's not too much slack. I am gonna already kind of have this like so, and set that there just to keep that from sliding. And I'm gonna check my angles real quick. I did give myself a little bit of extra give, but I didn't want to lay it out flat because then there would be a lot of loose wire. So I'm just going to start, and I'm going to stay inside the tab areas and away from this edge so that when it goes on it will not hit any of these wires. Okay, kind of trying to think of how I want to put this on. I'm going to start with some 1/4 inch double-sided tape and kind of work from there. I don't want to glue it on. I don't want it to be quite that permanent, just in case they ever have to come out. But I also don't want them falling down. So I'm gonna hopefully come up with a solution here. They don't need a lot because they are wire, so they will kind of hold themselves, but they do need some support. So I'm gonna get these put in place and then try to come up with what I'm gonna do to sandwich the wire between the double-sided tape and something else, some other kind of tape. Alright, I went and I very carefully set this in place and looked at it, and these actually did hang down enough to be seen if you look straight on at it, and they weren't part of my original design, and they to me they looked rather funny, especially since they weren't evenly spaced because I was mostly worried about the wire. So now I am going to come back through. I have got to get this wire up here a little flatter so there isn't any bulging out and hanging down. But I do think this will work. It looks like it's going to. Oh, and when I cut these off, I was very careful not to damage the wire, but I just wanted to point that out. If you ever had to do something like that on these, you don't want to damage the wire. So I did make sure that it all still lights up. So I'm going to come back through right now, add more tape, get this really as flat as I can to the surface of this before I put it on the other piece. I really do not want to try to have to stick my hands through the opening without knocking deer over or trees over. I mean, they're in there, but they're not all the way dry yet, and they're really not in there made to hold up to somebody smacking them. Alright, it is time. I have these up, nothing hanging down excessively. I am going to actually lay this on its back like so, because the tabs that are on here, they're just the notches, so this side is going to be flush So I think it'll be easier for me to make sure that this doesn't wiggle too much, and I only have to really worry about one side kind of being wobbly, I guess we'll call it. I have all this together now. It's glued. The glue's dry. I attached my battery pack for those lights because I was afraid that it was going to break the wires. I'd forget it was there. Every time I moved it, it would snag something. So I attached it. I just used the double-sided tape and some scotch tape, the same as I did on the inside, in a couple spots back here to hold the wire down. And then to hold that box, let me see, I put double-sided tape on to hold the battery cover, and then added some E6000 along the edges and the bottom, because I do have it so that it slides like that, so the batteries, it can be changed easy, and so this is nice and safe, and then you can just reach around and get that light turned on. And then, like I had said I was going to do, I used the last bit of that snow that I had made on this front, and then I sprinkled on some of the glitter that it's a shard glitter that is in the kit. I had put tape along the bottom, just some artist's tape, just to keep it kind of clean along the edge. And I had thought about taping the underside of the roof, but I realized when I pulled the tape I'd have to go this way and across where I had wet medium. So I just found a piece of scrap paperboard and just kind of used it as a little bit of a blocker. That way I could just kind of slide it out gently. Now I'm going to come in, and I'm not going to use a lot of this glitter snow, and I'm going to add it to this. I know I have glitter on it. I'm not going to put it on heavy, but I think it also helps. It has a different kind of glittery color to it, or shine to it, and it helps hold that other glitter in place. Alright, after some careful consideration, I have finally decided my roof. This, I'm pretty sure is done. I don't think I will be adding any more. Kind of depends on how the roof comes along. I am going to use this Bindweed wallpaper stencil. This is from my stash. I'm not going to put it all over the roof, just in a few areas here and there. Just, I like the flowers. They kind of remind me of poinsettias, so that was my thought process there. Now, what I'm going to do it with, I have, oh, you can't really see, there it is. You can see about how much I have left of the glitter snow that came in the kit. I kind of want to add a little bit more to it, kind of make it a one and done type deal here. And I'm just going to use this container because one way or another I will be done with paste that has to dry. So I'm going to scrape this lid clean. There we go. I am going to add in just some of my light and fluffy modeling paste that I've been using. I think I'm going to stir in some of this glue, and I'll see what kind of consistency I have, but may also add in some of that gloss super heavy gel. I have my roof snow already here, and I did spray the roof. When I took this out, after it was glued together, I took this out and I gave all of the sides except the bottom, but I gave the front and the roof and even the back panel a coating of the Krylon workable fixative, so that it would be ready to have some snow put on. So I have that, and I am just going to randomly add a bit of stenciling on here, and I'm going to try to strategically place it over where those tab holes are. My rooftop is done. My advent calendar is done, even though there were times I didn't think that it would ever get done. I am just gonna set this off, let everything finish drying, and it will be all ready. On my blog or the Tres Jolie blog, you will be able to find photos of it all put together and a complete supply list of everything I used here. At least I'm pretty sure I have everything. I kind of make the list as I go along, so I think I have everything I've used. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you will always know when more projects are revealed, or when the kit reveals happen at the beginning of the month. I hope you enjoyed this project and it gave you some ideas of what you can do with the advent calendar, what you can do with the scrapbooking kit. Scrapbooking paper doesn't have to just be for paper projects. As you saw, I turned it into part of my advent calendar. I've sealed it up, and with any luck, this will be useful for years and years to come. That's what I was hoping for, making sure it was nice and sturdy. Thank you, and I will see you again next week.